everyone, welcome back to the second channel. So today I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I wanted to talk about how I made my video talking about how Mariah carried the 90s. So normally I do this with a bunch of other videos that I've done for that respective month. I'm kind of on a time crunch though, and I really wanted to talk about this one. So first up, this took me 32 hours and 56 minutes to edit. Whenever I talk about the process more, you'll understand why. And really quickly on why I titled it that, it was just a fun play on words. That's really all it was. Like whenever I thought about conceptualizing this video, the title just came to me really easily, never really veered away from that. Then I added from poor to pop star later because I thought that made it sound really interesting, so that's where the title came to be. And then in terms of the thumbnail for the video, I did not make it. I usually make the thumbnails for my videos. This is an edit I saw on Twitter. I thought it was really cool, and so that's why I threw it on there. And then I ended up posting it on President's Day, so everything kind of lined up perfectly. People thought I did it on purpose. No, just happy coincidence. And now let's get into the nitty-gritty details of it. So why did I even want to do this video in the first place? So basically my most popular video at the time, and it still is now, is my video whenever I talk about quitting soda for 30 days. It's helped a lot of people. Really surprised that is my most popular video. Could have never expected it. I think in the next few weeks it'll get overtaken by my It's a Wrap like performance that Mariah did at Pride. But yeah, I was just kind of tired of that because I feel like it's not really representative of what my channel is. I've rebranded. I talk about music all the time, album reviews. I've also watched a bunch of deep dives myself, of course, on music, on people, on other topics. Thought they were super fascinating. Always wanted to make one. Like I think of all the videos I want to do, I really wanted to check that off my list, feel a huge sense of accomplishment. And so I was thinking for the longest time, like, what could I do a deep dive on? But I didn't have an idea for one until I came up with this, which we'll get into later. So I'm sure you may be wondering, why didn't I do a video talking about glitter through emancipation? The short reason why is because everyone has done it. I felt like I would get lost in the shuffle, basically, and there's so many words that have been said to it, so part of me is like, what can I really contribute at this point? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, let me do this, because it's different, because I want to stand out, because I hadn't really seen a video like this talking about her first 10 years of her career really in depth with accurate information. And also, people always say you need one video for your channel to blow up. I thought this was a great idea. I thought it was something that was different, and it was something that really excited me, most importantly, which is how I come up with all my videos at this point, really. There was a point where I even thought like, oh, let me do her debut all the way through emancipation, but there's so much just in those 10 years. I was like, it's gonna take forever. So with that, the video probably would have been another 2-3 hours, and just with recording and editing and trying to get this thing out, I was like, yeah, it's just not gonna happen. So that's why I just did the first 10 years. The goal for this was to educate people who didn't know anything about her career, and also for the fans as well, to really have the accurate information. So if you watch it and you're already a huge fan of her, it gives you a lot of information that you already know, but you might learn a thing or two. And if you're not familiar with her, it gives you a lot of information to where you can learn, but also makes you want to dig deeper to see what else is going on there, watching more interviews, stuff like that. So it was a really important balance for me to find and everything. So in terms of the timeline of this video, I thought of this idea before like 2 years ago, but I scrapped it just because it seemed incredibly overwhelming, and I had a lot of other ideas at the time, I think, so I was like, I'm just not going to do this video. And then I came back around to it, and I decided to do it in July or August of last year. So now let's talk about what writing the video was like, why it took forever to come out. So basically, I was writing this video in between the other videos that I was doing at the time, because a lot of times whenever I see people do deep dives, they focus on that really intensely for a couple months, they finally get it out, there's nothing on their channel for a few months. And one of the most key things on YouTube is uploading consistently. I didn't want to leave you guys without any content. I like making videos, and I knew it was going to take me a long time to build this out exactly how I wanted to, so I really took my sweet time in just writing the video and everything like that. So that is part of why it took me so long to do it. Also, whenever I first started writing this video and like kind of having my skeleton script, I remember I would wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh, here's this great thing I'm thinking about her career that I really want to talk about, this part and that part, and it really kind of got my creative juices flowing, and I was like really excited about it. And like all the way throughout doing this video, which was very long and grueling, just writing and conceptualizing it like I kind of discussed, you know, it was like spurts like these that were like, you know, kind of keeping me going in a sense, because it's like, once I finish this, it's really going to be a great project. Like there's so many possibilities to do, and it's really exciting in that respect. And this video faced multiple delays. I was like, oh, this is gonna come out in September, this is gonna come out by my birthday, this is gonna come out by Thanksgiving. And then whenever I got to that point, like late November, I was like, this is not coming out this year, because December I get very busy every year with all the Christmas stuff I like to do, because I love Christmas, and also because of the list that I do, like my favorite albums, favorite songs of the year, and just other content that I do. So I was like, there is no way I'm going to be able to get this out in December, so let me shelve this for next year. Also, the reason I shelved it is because I got like 74,000 views last year on my main channel. Super thankful to everyone who supported, by the way. It means so much more to me than you'll ever know. And I felt like this would be something that would blow my channel up, so I was like, you know what, let me save this idea to next year, let me keep working on it, and whenever I have more free time, I'll finally finish it and get it out. But yeah, again, with the writing, it was really challenging for me to write this video. It took a very long time. So basically what I did for the most part is I went on her Wikipedia page, like the general one, also one for albums and singles and stuff like that. I copied and pasted the information there, there, and then I kind of just wrote around that. That kind of just gave me a general structure. Then I added in like parts that I wanted to about her career, or my insights, things that I think are important to know, and all that kind of stuff in there. So I did read her book again just to kind of refresh myself on that, the knowledge, think about the structure, important things to know basically. And then I just like screenshotted important parts to me, and then I went back to those, and I did that feature in Apple where you can copy and paste stuff. So I did that in the notes, and I had a whole note of just things that I could have used for the video. I had to cherry pick which ones were most important to me. So there was that. That was definitely time consuming, but also necessary at the same time. And then I also spent weeks watching a lot of her interviews from the 90s particularly to put in this video to just kind of back up everything that I was saying, because it's one thing for me to say it, but to have those clips reinforce it was very important to me. So I just wanted to make sure I was getting everything right. Also with this video, I really considered asking somebody else to write it with me just because it was a very overwhelming task. But then as I thought about it more, I was just like, my vision's gonna have to be compromised to a certain extent because, you know, that's what comes with collaboration and everything. And I just decided I wanted to be able to say I did everything on it myself, you know, besides the thumbnail, everything else was all me. And so that's why I ultimately decided to just keep it by myself. I just tend to be a control freak in that respect. I kind of just want everything to be how I'm thinking, you know, my way and things like that whenever it comes to like my videos creatively and all that kind of stuff. So I think ultimately it was the right decision to just work on it by myself and not have anyone collaborate with me, because ultimately my goal was to just have my vision come through, and I think that it really did. Also, I literally made this playlist, I believe it was called Let's Get to Work, and that's just whatever I would listen to whenever I was like rereading the Wikipedia or just like putting all the book quotes together for the video and like all that kind of stuff. So like I had this organized down to a T. And so basically I think towards the end of last year is whenever I started watching clips, and I put them in like this playlist to use for later. And then I went back, some of those were deleted, I had to find some other new clips, which is kind of frustrating. And basically I went and I screen recorded a bunch. I think I have over like 300 screen recordings that I could have used, but I didn't use a lot of them just because I wanted to make it very clear that this is my video, you're watching this, I'm giving you the information. I very much wanted to dominate the video. I don't want it to feel like I'm a guest in my own video and I'm letting all that do the entire work for me. And also there's a fear of copyright basically, because you know clips can get copyrighted, it takes down the entire video and it blocks it in certain countries, stuff like that. So that's why I didn't use every single clip that I had. I really wanted to be strategic about the clips that I use when I use them. A lot of times I use 2 or 3 clips back to back. The reason why I did that, again, fear of copyright. If one clip gets taken down, there's another clip there that still validates my point. And then also she has a lot of really interesting interviews and interesting things that she's saying. So that's why I did like 2 or 3, because she might be saying one interesting thing here, another interesting thing there, and she might kind of like say the same thing twice but in different ways, or might give insight in one clip in a way that she does in another. So in general, it was really important for me to take the time to research her with the interviews and with the Wikipedia, and also I read some of her articles that were done for like the New York Times and like a bunch of different things to just like really cross-reference it, because yes, I know a lot about her, but I forget things sometimes. I'm human, sometimes I misremember things, sometimes I'm learning new things. I feel like I really refresh my Mariah knowledge by doing everything. So it's just really important for me to do this to make sure that I was giving you guys accurate information, solid information, and all that stuff. And yeah, I just don't ever want to get too arrogant to think that I know everything, because I don't. So it was really important for me to refresh everything, get all the information there and all that stuff. So yeah, it took me like months to really get everything down. And one clip that was really hard for me to find was TMF 99, whenever she's talking about I don't write songs with Walter. I remembered that clip. It took me forever to find that clip. Another clip that I really struggled to find is during Rainbow Era, whenever she talks about her divorcing Tommy and how controlling he was during the marriage, and she's talking about I didn't feel like I could say I don't want to wear my hair curly tonight, because that reinforces the point about her saying how she liked to straighten her hair and how he didn't like it, and about me talking about the looser curls during the Music Box era. So I wanted to have it to kind of reinforce that narrative in that respect. And just the amount of work I would have to do to find a 15-second clip is a lot, but these were really important for my video and reinforcing my facts and stuff like that. Because sometimes I would find this information and I'd tell people, oh, where did you get that from? Sometimes I forget, so it's really nice to have the clip to be like, here it is, this is where I got it from, to refresh myself on where it is, because sometimes I find stuff and I just don't remember where I get it from. So that's also very important. Also, something that I wanted to add is while I was writing this video, I tweeted a bunch of the clips that I would actually end up using, or just great interviews, just to show those off to Lamb who like maybe hadn't seen them before. Also for me, because I knew that I was going to reference them again. Sometimes I would find a really great clip and I'm like, I'm going to use it. I would put it in that playlist that I was telling you guys about, and then I would end up losing the clip, or I would forget which one it was. So by tweeting it, it kind of let me have it there just, you know, for reference point and stuff. And also I would end up using those on a TikTok account. I made a Mariah TikTok account. It's called @MariahCarey's Internet, and I'm posting a lot of like Mariah interview clips on there, just because I feel like a lot of times it's on her performances, which are great, but I really want to have some obscure interview clips. So that's kind of how that came to be. I post on there pretty frequently. And then also on my Twitter account, and just sharing some obscure clips that Lambs might not have seen just for fun. So it's really been great doing that, and just sharing, you know, what I can find with the lamb. Like, upon research for this video, I found the clip whenever she's talking about why she decided to collaborate with Joe and 98 Degrees for Thank God I Found You. And this is something that my friends and I were talking about, and we were kind of head scratching, wondering why. So, you know, that was a great thing for me to see, like, look guys, I found the clip. And I really like whenever other lambs show like really obscure clips, because there's always something to learn, another way to, you know, kind of expand your Mariah knowledge. So it's really fun in that respect. Another note I wanted to add is during that part, whenever I'm talking about how Mariah discusses the Music Box album and working with Walter and her talking about, oh, it's not that I don't like the Music Box album, basically we're creatively growing apart. I thought that was a Questlove interview. Apparently that was an interview that she did for Rolling Stone. I don't know how I got those two mixed up. I want to do correction on the video in the comments and everything, but yeah, I wanted to have that in this video. I also ended up making some lamb friends and everything, so I just asked them some stuff about Mariah's career and whatever, also added those things to the script. And every day as I kept writing this video, I kept thinking of more things, like my personal insights of the career, stuff I watched in interviews, stuff that I heard her say, and just like added those all in. So I'm really glad I took such a long time to write it, just so I could have all the details in there for the most part. Like I said, I didn't cover everything because that would have took me forever, but I'd say I had like most of the really valuable information. And whenever I told my friends that I was doing this video, they asked me like, oh, what is the video supposed to be? Did not tell them what the video was. I just said it's going to be on Mariah. And they did not know what the video was until it came out. And that's just kind of how I prefer to do it. I don't really tell most people the things that I'm working on until they come out or whatever. That's just like how I like to do it. I think it keeps the element of surprise there and stuff like that. I just wanted them to be like, oh wow, this is the video you came up with, you know, something that's really different. Another reason I was really rushing to get this video out is because there's this content creator, Calvin Michaels, who I really like, and he said he was going to do a video on Mariah. It was more so kind of talking about glitter through emancipation, but I didn't want him to think that I was like ripping him off or whatever, because I think I came up with that idea like a similar time that he did his. So that's like another reason I was like, let me get this out and everything. That way, you know, it kind of is its own thing. Really excited to watch his video, by the way. I know that he's working on it and I really respect his videos, and he actually gave me a shout out on one of his videos, which meant a lot to me. Something I forgot to add is that, you know, whenever I decided I was going to do this video, I literally DM'd Calvin for some advice on doing a deep dive, because he did some great ones on like Janet Jackson, TLC, Usher that I really enjoyed, and so I kind of wanted to hear like his perspective, because it was so overwhelming to kind of just conceptualize like how am I supposed to put this all together. And you know, he did give me some advice, so I really do appreciate that. And you know, great person, and he makes great videos, so definitely check out his YouTube channel, Calvin Michaels. Also, another important thing for this particular video, I bought a camera. I'll put the model I have on the screen right here. I bought a tripod. This is a Manfrotto tripod. I also bought a teleprompter. I bought this little screen that connects to the camera, so I can just like make sure I'm in the frame and everything is good in there. So I realized that I might as well just share all the gear that I use to make this video. So for the computer that I use for this video and that I use for every single video that I do, it's a MacBook Pro 14-inch from 2021, I believe. It has like custom specs. I believe I have 32 gigabytes of memory on here. I have a terabyte of storage. I know that, and I have a video of it somewhere on my main channel if you guys want to see like all the specs on it. So I have two different microphones that I use. I don't do voiceovers in every single one of my videos, but whenever I do, it's a Shure MV7, really easy to plug into the USB-C port. I will have it on the screen right here. And then for the microphone that I use to do my voiceovers, I have like this little windscreen on it that I bought from Amazon, probably 15 bucks as well, so I wanted to add that in. And something that I can't believe I forgot to mention is for my camera, I bought a completely separate microphone, because whenever you buy cameras to record videos with, what you learn is that the one that it comes with is not good. So I did my research. I believe it's a Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, something like that. Really great. I believe I paid like $200 for it, something like that, but it's worth every single penny. Has great battery life, is really reliable to use, and like whenever you turn on the camera, the microphone already starts, so you don't have to turn it on separately, and I don't really have to charge it that often, so it's a really great thing to use. But yes, I really do love it. Every single video it is included, and the quality from the iPad to this is just insane. For my editing software, I use Final Cut Pro 10. A challenge to use at the beginning, but once you learn, it's super intuitive. I also forgot to mention that technically I use iMovie in conjunction with Final Cut Pro for all my videos. So basically what I always do is I edit the entire video on Final Cut Pro, and then once I finish it, I save it to my desktop, and then I put the entire video into iMovie, make no changes, and export it. And I do this just because I'm going to send it over to my iPad and upload it to YouTube, and the upload time is a lot shorter that way. I think it compresses the video in some way. Maybe there's a way I can upload it from my laptop that's great as well, but it's just more convenient that way. If I were to upload it on a computer, it would take several hours longer, so that's why I do this way. But every single video I consistently do that, so I forgot to talk about that. Also, I realized I forgot to talk about my hard drive. It's a Samsung 2TB SSD, and so this is not something that I use for every single video. I use it sparingly, but it has helped me on a couple occasions. like for this video, and then also for the video that I did for the Grammys, like little review space that I did as well. So I use it sometimes, but you know, it worked really great for me, so I would recommend it. If y'all were curious in terms of how this actually works, essentially I just export the video onto it, aka save the video onto it from Final Cut Pro on my MacBook, and then I plug the cable into my iPad, and then I would put the video into iMovie like I say that I always do. I would save it from there, and then I would upload it onto YouTube. This was a huge file. I believe it's like a few hundred gigabytes, and my computer was full at the time, so I literally couldn't even save it onto the computer and then put it into iMovie like I always do. So like I said, I would send it and like do all the steps that I said, and then yeah, so this is basically just like a last ditch effort if I don't have any space on my computer. That's why I really use it, because usually it's fine. So I did all this because I've made a lot of videos, love the iPad and everything, but the quality just wasn't what needed to be for this grand of a video. So I was like, let me step it up, did my research, got all this. This camera does have a 30-minute limit though, so every time I see it gradually approaching that, I have to stop and re-record the video. I do have this little remote, hopefully it focuses, and this is what I use to start and stop whenever that happens, so that's also very important. But yeah, I'm really glad I got these because I use them all the time, and it was just really important for me. So I ended up buying this stuff, I think in like July of last year, something around there. I started using it in my videos, learning how to work it and everything like that. And then whenever I got like the teleprompter, I had to rearrange my entire room just to make sure everything fit properly. I feel like this is one of the best investments I've made because it improves my videos all the way throughout. And whenever I watch my old videos and watch my videos now, the audio quality is so much better, the video quality is so much better. I just knew if I was going to make this video, I wanted everything to be high quality. The reason I bought a teleprompter, I know I'm not going to be able to remember everything, so that's why I bought that particularly. With the teleprompter, you have to get an entire app, which I have, and then basically you hit play and then it goes, and then a lot of times it would go too fast for me to read it, so then I would have to go back and scroll up and read it again, or just like have it there. So many points I had to edit that out, just me fixing that, so that's also something that's worth noting, but the teleprompter was really helpful. So in terms of recording the video, I believe I started recording it towards the end of January, somewhere in there, hopefully that's right. And so basically did this video in chunks because it's a very long video. I had at least 10 hours of raw footage to edit, which we'll get to later. So basically what I had done is I recorded the part talking about her youth all the way through the Merry Christmas era. This probably took me at least 5 hours to record, right? Did this part twice. First footage I did, I hated it because I felt like it didn't flow properly. A lot of times whenever I record sit-down videos, I record them twice because I write everything out and I think it's how I want to say it, and then I sit down, I get really spontaneous. I'm like, I don't like how this flows, let me fix it. So the first time I'm kind of finding my way, so a lot of times recording sit-down videos, I record them twice. Not always, but most of the time. And so yeah, it just was not flowing, it was not giving what needs to be gave. So then I just decided to scrap all that footage, like 5 hours work. I was like, I'm not using this. And so I just reworked the script how I actually wanted it to, and then I think I went back the next day or the day after that, and then I re-recorded that section. And it's also good I didn't use the first footage because I wanted it to look like the entire video was recorded in one day, and I was wearing a different shirt in that one. The whole video, now you see it, I'm wearing the entire like Butterfly 25 filament, so that's another reason why it's best that I just went with the other footage. So recording this video, I was talking like 5 hours each day, recording really late into the night, and as you listen, you can definitely hear how tired my voice is. You can just hear the textures on my voice and stuff like that. Surprisingly, my voice didn't hurt from that. I would say a little bit of fatigue, but it wasn't like it was incredibly painful, which is good. There were times where I speak and my voice would be cracking, things wouldn't be coming out properly. It was just a huge challenge to record it, to have that discipline to sit down for 5 hours and be like, okay, let me put this together, and to just deal with the teleprompter and everything to make sure everything was right. I think there was a few times where I recorded and I didn't frame everything properly, so that was an entire thing to deal with as well. So there's multiple parts of the video I recorded twice. I think I recorded the butterfly thing 2 or 3 times. I think one of the times my footage, like, it wasn't framed properly, like the camera, so it just looked completely off. So I was like, great, I can't use this. Sometimes I feel like I don't say things properly, so I have to re-record it. So yeah, there was multiple parts where I was like, I don't really like how it is right now, so let me re-record it. So yeah, like I said, I recorded the first part twice, and then I think I went back a day or two after to record the rest of the video. So Daydream all the way through the end, talking about her legacy and all that kind of stuff. I really wanted to record the Daydream to the end part twice, but you know, my voice was kind of shot like I was talking about earlier, and I was just really trying to get the video out at this point. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it once. Anything I need to fix, I can do with a voiceover, and I just let it be like that. So yeah, like 5 hours probably over like 3 days, give or take. So yeah, a lot of talking. So ultimately, I just put the best parts of all the footage that I had together. This took me a couple of weeks to edit, and so like I said, 32 hours, 56 minutes to edit. Whenever I was talking with my friends about the video, they're like, when is this video coming out and all this stuff, and I keep being like, oh, this Saturday, da 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 da. But I was just putting unrealistic expectations on myself. I just kept editing it as I could throughout time, and eventually I finally did finish it. And let's talk about the editing. So like I said, had 10 hours of raw footage for me to edit, edited over weeks. I normally would do spaces with my friends, talk with them, and then I would edit. So I just did whatever I could handle. So I think of every video in sections. So there's the youth section, there's debut, emotions, all that stuff. So I tried to edit like part of one section each day or like a whole section. It just took a lot of time to get with the pictures, with the voiceovers, all that stuff. Very time consuming, like I said. So there's something to be noted there, and I'll get into that a little bit more later. And now onto one terrifying story of editing this video. So basically what had happened is whenever you edit things in Final Cut Pro, there is something called rendering. And so basically what that is whenever you edit a video and you paused it, it just like renders out the footage and everything, makes it high quality, something like that. Probably not describing right, but hopefully you get the idea. And so basically that is just a feature that is had. It kind of takes away from export time, but it takes up a lot of space. My computer's a terabyte. The computer was basically full.
Basically, I read that you could delete the render files for a project and it wouldn't harm the project in any way. I read multiple forums. It seemed legit, and I was doing this, like I said, because my computer was getting filled up and I hadn't even finished editing the video. So I was like, okay, let me try it. Let me see if it works.
And then the project just showed up black. And I was just panicking because at this point I spent at least 10 hours editing this video. So I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to start all over, 10 hours done. Like, it was not good for me. And what I was able to do is apparently Final Cut Pro has backup, so I was able to restore the backup. And after that, I just turned off rendering videos. That way my computer wouldn't have to take up so much space and everything. So that was really important. It's also worth noting that, like I said, my SD card was full with all the footage that I had at this point. And so because of that, that's why I did the Twitter Spaces with friends, because I could go do the space, record it on my phone. And then a lot of times I edited on my other computer, my old computer that I have. And so yeah, I didn't take up any space on my SD card, and I didn't want to delete everything off my SD card until I was ready. So there was an era for like a month where I did Twitter Spaces just to kind of fill that time and everything, because I had no more space to record it, didn't want to buy another SD card. So the most important part of editing this video for me was definitely the sequencing. I really wanted to make sure that it flowed super well. So the part for the youth, I was like, I want this to be 10 minutes. I had a lot of stuff written down for it, but I had to restructure it. I had to ultimately edit down to that because I want people to understand the context behind it, but I don't want to take up too much of the video, and so I was very cognizant on that. Debut was like 30 minutes because there's a lot to talk about there. So yeah, it was like very important to me, the sequencing, making sure everything flowed, that I was telling the story in a way that made sense, that was easily digestible, in a way that was riveting and fascinating. Another challenge was all the photos and videos and all that stuff. So I kind of just sent it whenever I needed it. So if I'm editing emotions, I would just send over like the emotions album cover or the emotions interview and just like throw it in there. And so yeah, like organizing that and having that all on my desktop, like my desktop is completely full. So that was really a challenge, just making sure all the structure of everything was right as well. And like I said, the interview clips and things like that. So that was a big thing for me. And on the desktop, whenever you like look at all your videos, it's a certain size, but you can change it to make it smaller. I had so much, I just had to do that for the video in particular. And so that was something to do. And yeah, it's really my Virgo Mars that got me where I am today, I fear, because it's like Virgo is very much known for being neat, being a perfectionist, all those things. And that's kind of how I make videos. Like once I had that explained to me, my Virgo Mars, I was like, that makes so much sense, because my videos, it's the entire video, it's the photos, it's the video, it's the voiceover, like it's a lot of mess. Like if someone saw my desktop and they saw all the work I had to do, like how do you even begin to organize that? It's a lot. So I had my friends review over the video, like what do you think? They both enjoyed it. Whenever I edited this video, one thing that was really important to me is that you didn't have to adjust your sound all the way through. I didn't want you to hear one part and it's fine, and then the next one, it shocks you. So I made sure to adjust the sound and try to have it sound the same all the way throughout the video. One part I was told was off, so I went back to fix that, and I made a couple little tweaks.
Something I wanted to add is that whenever I showed the video to two of my friends, they had it like a day before, like I actually made it public. And one of them was saying like, oh, you should take out the part with like all the copyright stuff, you know, in the emotions era, people saying that like all these songs of Mariah sound like other people because she'll get hate. But I was like, no, like that was a common narrative that was going around at the time, and I actually like learned some stuff myself researching that and everything. And so I kind of felt like I should keep it in the video and everything, and you know, they respected it or whatever. But you know, that was just really interesting.
So overall, there's probably like 2 or 3 versions of the video that I did and uploaded and stuff like that, and it's like hours to upload this thing. And yeah, sending it over to my friends to watch was very nerve-wracking, and the reason why is because I don't normally do that for videos as well. Like I just make them, I put them out, whoever watches it and enjoys it, great. And to just have to like wait to hear like, oh, like was this thing done wrong, or did you even like it, and how do you feel about it, like hearing the critiques, a lot. That's why I don't do it. That's why I don't do it. But for this video, it was very important to me to have the information right, and so that's why I ended up doing it, and glad that I got the notes to fix it. Overall, I'm really happy with this video. a lot of times when I post videos now, I will just post the video and I won't even watch it back, because if I watch it back, I'm gonna be like, I should have changed this, I should have done that. Like, that's just how it is, you know. The Virgo Mars, the perfectionist in me, always has something I want to fix, always has something I don't like. So I change my mind a lot, and so that's why I tend not to go back and watch old videos a lot of times. Sometimes I'll watch one particular section because I forget what I said, but yeah, that's why I kind of just put things out and let it be how it is. But the few times that I have watched like sections from this video, I've been really pleased with it, so I'm happy with it. Of course, there's a thing or two I would have changed. I would have done things differently had I done it now, but that's just life. That's just how it is. I'm really happy with that video, and that's saying a lot. One of the most important things that came from this video is I feel like I really stretched as a writer for this video, and I'm really proud of that. There was this TikTok I saw from Cecilia Regina. I really like her TikTok, and she was just talking about how much she loves words. And thinking about that, I was like, you know what? I really love words. I love being articulate, describing how I feel about something, how I even got to that point, hearing great poetry, hearing things really described with intricacy. I love words. And so I realized that making videos, it's just me putting my words out there and hoping that you like them, and all the detail that I put into my words and everything to get to that moment. One thing that I might say offhandedly is like the light switch for somebody else, and vice versa. I always try to like learn things from people, and I'm really proud of how everything came out. And I feel like ever since I started, I just keep getting more and more articulate. And with the astrology thing, because I do love it, I am a Scorpio, and we're kind of all about like getting beneath the surface and just like bringing things to light and like the deeper things in life. And so that was one of the big things for this video that I had really talked about, all the little nitty-gritty details and stuff like that. I'm really into that. Research of Scorpio, I am like the textbook definition of it. I love being a Scorpio. We get a bad rap. I hate most of the ones I met, but you know, I really do enjoy it. So I have Scorpio Sun and Scorpio Rising, Libra Moon, by the way. I was just really proud of how everything came out from a writing perspective. The sequencing I was particularly pleased with because I worked so hard on that. I really stressed about that. One of my favorite parts is putting it together, even though it can be really stressful, even though it can be really time consuming. That is a gift. So I just really felt like on top of the world. Like, if I can do this deep dive with all this information and the way that I presented it, then anything is really possible. And just seeing everybody else's deep dive, I'm like, wow, now I'm part of the club. I've done my own deep dive. This video is the homepage on my channel and will probably stay there for a really long time, just because I feel like it's really representative of what my channel is, because I love Mariah so much, I love music so much, I love analysis. So to put all those three things together and for it to go so well, and for people to really enjoy the video in the comments, and I got a lot of good feedback on the video and stuff, which is something that really meant a lot to me because I'm super self-critical. That was so much work for me to do and to put together. Sometimes people don't realize that whenever they just watch the video. They just enjoy it and then they go. That's why I make these videos on here, to just explain everything that is put on there. And yeah, making videos myself, watching other people's, I just think like, how much time did it really take them to put into? So that's why I really like to document everything. On the screen right now, I'm going to have a screen recording of my desktop in Final Cut Pro with the video, so you can just see how intricate it is with all the photos and the videos and the voiceovers all the way throughout the timeline and everything, just so you guys can see it. I normally don't do this for videos, but this is one I'm really proud of. Took a lot of edits and all that kind of stuff, so I wanted to show you guys that. But yeah, my best video. As far as making a part 2, I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I feel like if I get bored and I really want to challenge, I will make a part 2. But like I said, I feel like everyone's done that video at this point, so I feel like I would really get lost in the shuffle, which is why I didn't do it in the first place. So it would take me a lot of time to really put that together. Not saying that it'll never happen, but I'm not 100% sure, and even if I did it, I don't really know what the timeline for that would be. I could kind of guess based off the timeline of this, how long that it would take me to do it. But yeah, I'm kind of cool being a one-hit wonder. I kind of am. And I think eventually, in due time, it will blow up and have its own moment. Excited for that. Excited for all the support I've gotten so far with the likes and the comments and the shares and all that stuff. Also, something worth noting for this video, I really thought about using the editing software in Final Cut Pro to slow it down, because people tell me I talk too fast and whatever. But kind of with that, you got to decide before you edit the entire video that you're going to slow it down. If you decide after, you have to shift everything. And I'm like, I kind of already talk fast, so it's going to be what's going to be. If I slowed it down, if it's already 3 hours, it probably would have been like 6 hours, 6.5 hours. So that was another thing I thought about. I hope that you guys enjoyed hearing the process about this particular video. Like I said, I know I normally do this for videos for months on this channel altogether, kind of on a time constraint, but I really wanted to talk about this one because every single time people do deep dives, I wonder, how did you make that and everything? And basically with this one, I kind of just had to learn as I went. I think that everybody probably does it differently in terms of researching, in terms of how they put the video together and stuff like that. So I really just had to find my way and just work it out how I wanted it. But like rewatching the clip, clips and just seeing whenever I put the little footage in and stuff like that and how everything came together makes me so happy. I remember whenever I did the video on her Emancipation Mimi album, and I found the clip to put in that for whenever she was like talking about It's Like That, and I felt so happy watching that then. I was like, oh, this is so cool. So to have a video filled with things like that and information and just putting everything together, really happy with it. But that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys want to watch a deep dive, I'll have it on the corner of the screen right here to where you guys can go to at the end of this video and link down below in the description as well. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. You enjoy it, like it, also subscribe, hit the bell if you want to get notifications. First link down below in the description will be my main channel, so you can check out everything I've done on there. Also Twitter, Instagram, and Spotify. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.